Hey there, welcome everybody. So glad to have you on another episode of the Paint Party live stream. I think this is episode 145 of the live stream. It's crazy to think that it's been almost 3 full years of weekly live streams, over a little more than 3 years, but I'm so glad to be with you in the studio this evening. I hope that your week is going well and that you had a great weekend. The weather just turned here. It was cold and cloudy and dreary most of the day, but the sun just came out, the clouds cleared, and it's still a little cool here in the mountains, but it is beautiful. We have almost wrapped up all of our summer activities for the tourist season here locally. The Sturgis Motorcycle Rally is done. Cool Deadwood Nights was this last weekend, which is a big classic car festival in Deadwood, just a few miles down the mountain. There is one more event this Labor Day weekend coming that is in Sturgis. It is I think it's a Mustang rally, Mustang cars, either that or Corvettes, but I think it's Mustang. But it's not near as big as some of the other things. So things are starting to wind down. School is back in session as of, I think, tomorrow morning here locally. And I know many places around the country, school is starting again. So after the summer break, but it is good to be with you in the studio. This live stream, if you've been here before, you know how it works. It is really laid back. You can pop in, stay as long as you'd like, pop out, pop back in. You can participate in the live stream via the comments wherever you're watching us. So any platform that you're on, you can participate in the live stream. You can type comments, questions, and I'd love to interact with you throughout the live stream. This live stream is my Learn to Paint journey. So I am teaching myself to paint. I am learning to paint. And so you will learn along with me. You will see my mistakes. You'll see my successes. But I am so glad to have you. Let me switch around these cameras. I'll show you what we're going to paint this evening. Of course, you can guess that it is another landscape here in the Black Hills. We're still just kind of working on those because I really want to focus in on that. But should be a fun little painting this evening. So let me switch these cameras and then we'll get started. First though, let me make sure, put on my clothing protection because I always seem to forget. And then I end up with paint on me or potentially paint on me. So we'll get this going, and I got halfway through the opening kind of segment. There's like a lapse of about a minute between when I start the live stream and when you actually see it, or maybe it's 30 seconds, and I realized I hadn't put on my mic, so I was scrambling to put on the mic so you could hear me. But all right, let's jump over to this camera. We will say hello there. I will move this around. Let's see, who's in the house? Hi, Mom. Good evening, Sturgis Mustang Rally. It is a Mustang Rally, so I was right. Spearfish has the Black Hills Corvette Classic. Okay, yep. And I think the Corvette Classic is at the beginning of the summer, isn't it? Or it's already happened, I think. So, lots of things to do if you love motorcycles, old cars, new cars, classic cars. Lots of things to do in these Black Hills of ours. But it is nice to be able to walk out on Main Street again and not dodge traffic as much, and to be a little more quiet. I haven't heard any alarms or ambulance sirens or anything going on the last week or so, so that's good. Corvettes are in mid-July. Yep. All right. Glad to have you all. It has been rainy and humid, so my hair is like crazy curly tonight. Sorry about that. Not sorry about that. It's fine. But that's the reason. Okay, let me show you what we're going to paint this evening. It's a simple little landscape, kind of similar to what we did last week. It is, again, Bear Butte in outside Sturgis, but it is a little bit of a different composition. It is Bear Butte at a distance, and the focal point is actually these trees leading us back into the distance. So we're going to kind of work on that composition a little bit, but you'll get to see kind of how we do that, and I will let you know when or I'll explain what I'm doing as I go. So, okay, you can see I should just pull this forward a little bit. You can see my palette there. I do need to put out some paint, so I'll do that, but first let me get these gloves on so I don't get paint on me. Welcome to those of you that are just joining us or have joined us in the last couple minutes. I'm so glad to have you. Thank you for joining. You can, as always, participate in the comments wherever you're watching. You can chat with us here, whether it's YouTube or Twitch or wherever you're watching from. LinkedIn. Some of you pop in from LinkedIn periodically, so okay, put some burnt umber on the palette, and we have blue. We need some of this yellow ochre. This is kind of my, well, yeah. It's a mixing color. So let's put a little bit of that out. And some, that helps us mix. Let's put some lemon yellow, cad lemon. That's for mixing greens. We have blue. We have, I want to put a little bit of this cerulean blue out. Oh, that's what we have. Where's the other? Okay. What's the other blue? Cobalt. Turquoise. I want to kind of see this turquoise. I don't think I've ever used, but I wonder, it is kind of a blue, like a greenish blue, a little more than the cerulean. And then we'll put some cobalt blue, see what kind of greens we can, because I notice my greens are a little dull in the paintings that I have painted, and so I want to see, and that may also be due to the underpainting, I'm not sure, but let us explore and we will find out together. All right, there we are. All right, we have our paints out. Let me switch cameras here so you can see my canvas. All right, remember that you are a little bit up looking down, so the proportions and things may look a little off as I do, but I put the camera up higher to kind of minimize the glare directly on the canvas panel. So, whoops. Oh, let's see. Let's see what we can do. As always, we will see if we can put some of the, we'll take some of this brown and I'm going to put it over here with some odorless mineral spirits. And we'll start putting in our our composition. Okay. I didn't draw out the grid marks, but that's about where we are. So we're going to put that tree. There's a dog going crazy. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but and I'm just kind of doing some basic shapes. Shadows and such to give us some idea what's here. And then back here we'll put the other tree. Kind of adjusting this as I go. So something like that. Now I'm actually gonna we'll see. And I think I'm getting, I don't think, I know I'm getting these proportions way off. So based on what the size, I'm going way too large. Because if this is the middle of the something like that. My palette panel is much smaller than so these trees are like this maybe. Oh, we need to adjust this. This one can come up here, maybe this one needs to be down here. This one is way off, it needs to be down here. Which is weird, because the mountain is like in there somewhere. Then the clouds we can do. Let's just see. I think we'll have to put in we'll have to kind of mess with this a little bit because we're going to have to move all this stuff down. So I messed it up at the beginning, so I wonder if I can, any of that will wipe off. Let's see if it'll wipe off above, anything above that line. That'll give us a better idea. There we go. And we can kind of start over a little bit. Okay. Now, let's see if we can do this again. Okay, so if this is our center spot, approximately, we want this tree to be right in here, and it's going to be a little tree. I think these are correct. Goes up, and this can be this. Come across. There we go. Something like that. Little tree. And this is where Bear Butte needs to sit, sort of. We don't have quite the I'm going to take out that middle tree. So the mountain sits there. This is kind of where the horizon line should be, below the it's not quite exactly right, but a little bit. It's better than it was. So there we're starting to a little bit. These clouds need to be really okay. Let's see here. Now, we kind of got, I think, took us a while to get the composition down. So let's see if we can do some sky. Oh, we'll do a little bit of medium just to let the things flow better. Okay, let's see if we can put in a really nice sky. Bright, sunshiny day. Tons of we'll see if we can constantly be improving. So if this is the middle line, some of that tree is there, but this is our little by little, we'll get there, y'all. We'll brighten it up a little bit, value-wise. Put a lot of, now we want to come in here. Take that up into clouds. Not sure if that's right, but we'll work it. Now, a little bit of kind of this grayish color. Putting a little bit of brown and a little bit of ultramarine blue into this. That will give us kind of a grayish tint for the, might need a little more. What I'm trying to do is the shadow of the clouds. So I don't think this is the right technique, but it gives us an idea with the, you can see the cloud shapes, where they're coming. Now, I think what I need to do is, hey there, Mark. Thanks so much for popping in. Always good to see you. Let's see if we can take some of this and a little bit of yellow, or actually yellow ochre. If we can take a little bit of blue into it. Let's see if we can do any highlights. This will be the test. If it's too much, or if it works. Let's put in. Yeah, I think it works. I'm not gonna overpaint it much. These ones we just need to put a suggestion of. They need to be flat because they're in the distance. I've been looking at clouds quite a bit lately off my balcony, and looking at and paying attention to how they are shaped with the shadows that give them dimensionality, or give them shape. Let's say that. Now I'll probably, I'm sorry for bumping that, probably come back in a second layer at another sitting and do some vivid highlights, but I want to just get a feeling for what my cloud shapes are going to be. If that makes sense. So kind of this big cumulus guy. If I get a good shapes, then I can definitely come back later and do some now. This is almost purple. Ish. Okay. I think this will work. So we have kind of this shape. If you just look at large shapes, there's kind of an S pointing here. The mountain is pointing here. The road is pointing here. This group of trees is pointing there. So it all kind of works well in the composition. So now let us see. We got a basic sky in. Now let's see what we can do with the rest. We want to put in a I wonder if we can use I don't use them often, but often at all. I'm going to see if I can use some unique brushes for, our wee trees, perhaps. So, but the first thing I want to do is I want to go and put in what is this? Kind of a, maybe it is this color that is. I'm looking at the mountain. I don't know if it's, there's like a shadow color. I don't know how. It's got to be darker. A darker value than the sky around it. So we either have to lighten up the sky or we have to darken this. So let's see if we can. But it's still, I want it to read in the distance, so actually it needs to come. It needs to sit back down here. I have to work that, finesse it, but it needs to sit right in there somewhere. Really should do this. By cutting this dramatically down in the then it will give us a below the midpoint, bringing the horizon down well below gives us the illusion of more distance. So I'm adjusting those in real time. And I'll have to come back and kind of work on this shape of this mountain because it is such a recognized mountain. But not when the paint is wet. And by making the mountain smaller, not smaller, but we are also pushing it back in the distance. Okay. All right, well, that's kind of a hot mess, but it is what it is. Now, let's see if we can take some blue, brown, just a little bit. in the distance. I'm trying to... I'm going to take out those two trees there, so we just have this one. There. I may have brought it too far forward, but thank you, sir. Little by little, it will hopefully come together. At least that's the goal. But yeah, I'm wanting kind of basically a C shape to the mountain and the tree here, and this is kind of a reverse C shape pointing us to the mountain. Now I'm trying to put shadows in without, this one needs to be pretty dense. I brought the sky too close, but it gives us that feeling. Now, let's see if we can do a little mid-tone green. Let's just take this, put a little, I wonder what happens if we mix a little turquoise in there. What does a little turquoise hurt? We want a pretty dark green so that we can I basically want to create a shape for this tree that we can put highlights on. Later. Wonder how little we can do and still if we can fill in. That will give us some idea of there. And it will read tree from a distance. Don't want to overpaint. But okay. Just remember you're looking at this from above, so that's more straight on kind of what it looks like. So I think we're doing okay. Again, I'm trying to avoid giving you a lot of trying to avoid giving you a lot of glare. No problem. Thanks for popping in as long as you could, Mark. It's always good to see you. We'll catch you next time. Okay. These two trees are about the same, are about the same distance, so I'm going to cut some of that off the bottom, or like shape it up, and put the mountain, maybe bring it up a little bit, but put it in the distance. I just don't understand I'm not sure what is off with my drawing, but because there's supposed to be other trees in here, but no way is that gonna happen. Okay, now I'm gonna take that same color, or try to, the mid, and see if we can put some shape on this. I'm really just trying to get these shapes sort of correct, so they sort of look like we can put sky holes back in later. Whoops, sorry about that. Now let's see if we can reposition some of this. Ooh. taken this. Seeing if I can create some illusion of grass right in here. As it gets closer, we need pretty significantly I'm just turning my brush all different ways to kind of give the illusion of grass that's growing up. There's really, most of it needs to be kind of this dark mid-tone color, and then there's lighter here because it's shorter. It's starting to come together. There are a few of you out there. Everyone's quiet tonight. And that is perfectly okay. It's just not always used to. Oh, 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 oh! I have been painting this whole time and forgot to plug in my phone. I almost lost you. I did lose my painting. Okay. Come back up here. Come back up there. There we go. Now, all of a sudden my camera started going dark. It says only got 4% left. There we go. There we go. I don't know. I'm doing now is taking this turquoise yellow that's on the right here. I don't know if you can see it really, but I'm taking that and just kind of tucking it around these kind of brown shadow areas that I put in earlier. And I'm just doing this in a kind of haphazard way, hoping that it will look somewhat organic. But I'm trying to cover up the underpainting. But by using this kind of more bluish green, we save the brightest highlights for here, where we're getting, it's very short grass and we're getting direct sunlight. Hopefully that will help to sell this. We're trying to sell that this is in the distance. The illusion. There's still a little bit of, but you can see the difference between here and here. All this that is showing up is the underpainting. Almost we bring just a little bit, just to knock this down a little bit. And I'm still not sure what I'm going to do in the here. Now I think what I want to do is do this bright yellow. There's kind of this bright yellow green. Just bring a little bit of this down. And some yellow ochre into it. And I think that's going to be our might be too much. We'll see. Whoops, sorry. I keep bumping. We want this like all grown over so that it's clear that somebody at some point drove down this and flattened some of this, but just kind of goes back into the now. Let's take some of this. We'll make a more brown, green. We'll put some of that in there. We'll have to work out these exact skylines, but it gives us now. Wonder if we can take some of this, give us some wonder if we can start. I don't think so. Nope. I'll have to come back and reshape these trees and such, but it'll kind of give us an idea of where we're going, and it'll give me a playbook for or a kind of a where to go next. Okay. That's, I think, as good as we're going to get for there. Okay. I think that's about all I can do for now on the first pass. Let me step back and take a good look. Thank you to those of you who have so silently sat with me this evening. Okay. I really like the sky and the clouds. And I think if I can really step up the trees, it's going to make a nice little painting. I really like the composition on this one. That's why we do these, or that's why I do these little small studies. This is maybe it's an 8x10, but it's still pretty small, and you kind of get a sense once you put it down on the canvas panel, then you get a sense of like, okay, this could be a larger, like the composition, how this came together could be I think it could make a really nice larger painting. So this really helps me decide what paintings I want to do at a larger scale, and I really like this one a lot as far as the composition. Again, we have our kind of C shape there, which takes us into this. This takes us up, so it's almost like a reverse or an S shape, because the road takes us back. The tree stops us from going way off, and then we see this. This is basically pointing our eye. There's like an arrow that goes across. This points to this points here, this points back, this points us back. So it's just like all of these elements are working together to create a really cool image from this composition or this reference. When I looked at this reference, I really thought, oh, this will just be for fun. But that's why you do these, and then you realize, oh, that is really nice. So let me bring you all back here. It's so good to see you again. I will take this. We're ending a little early, but like I said, it's wet on wet. And I am not skilled enough right now to keep going. And so I am going to stop. I'm going to let this dry a little bit and then do probably another session with this painting. So, sorry, my crazy hair. I'll turn you back there. All right, so let me see if I can put this up without any glare or too much glare. Okay, that's kind of where we are. So you can see it straight on. It's always difficult with this lighting in here. There we go, maybe. So that's what we got done. That said, I want to say again, thank you for joining me. Whoa. There we go. Thank you for joining me on the live stream this evening. It has been a pleasure having you here. Next week, I believe, is next week. Let me see, actually. I think next week is Labor Day weekend. So, yes, it is. And I believe that I did not schedule a live stream because of the holiday, although it's not a big holiday for me as far as celebration wise. However, I don't know what could come up, so let me double check for you. $146. Okay. Actually, we will have a break because Labor Day there is no live stream, and then the following week I'm going to be out of town. The following 2 weeks I'm going to be out of town for business and a little fun. So I will actually not be back till September 23rd. September 23rd, that is the 4th week in September. So the next live stream is the 23rd. Oh, that is awkward. I did 2 of them on the 23rd. That's the 30th. And then let's go back. So I have the 30th, the 7th. I messed up my dates numbering. 148 is the 7th. 149 will be October 14th. And then 150 will be October 21st, unless something comes up. So, all right, I have updated those on YouTube. So, we should be set. I will be back here the 23rd of September. For those of you who are... Hey, Olan, so good to see you. I am just about to wrap up the live stream tonight. This is the painting we worked on this evening. A picture from near where I live. So, I will be back the 23rd of September for the next live stream. So, I want to say again, thank you for those of you who are still here and have joined us this evening. It's so great to be with you in the studio, and I will see you in about 3 weeks for the next live stream. Thanks so much. Have a good evening and a very great week. And if you're celebrating, a wonderful Labor Day.